We are welcoming Barbara Flaad from Switch, and Barbara has a computer science background and is specialized in the field of information security and risk management. And she has a CISSP certification and is working in her current company as a security awareness specialist.
Thank you very much, and hello everybody. I'll share my screen with you. I'd love to welcome you to my presentation about mindfulness and cybersecurity. Who am I? As Burpee said, my name is Barbara, and quite a few years ago now I studied computer science. I used to work as a developer, also project management. Then a few years, I was a team leader and security officer at a university here in Switzerland. And about a year ago, I switched to Switch and I'm working there as an awareness specialist and also as a project manager. So for the last about 20 years, I was part of this fast changing cyber business. But not only my job changed with the time, also my personal life. I'm a single mom of two teenage kids. I love to travel and I spend a lot of time outdoors. Um, and about 5 years ago, I got to know the practice of mindfulness. And I want to share in this presentation my experience with mindfulness with you. First, I will tell you a little bit something about security awareness, or more my understanding of security awareness. Then I give you a first impression on what mindfulness is and isn't, and how it's practiced, and how mindfulness can keep you healthy in your personal life. And at the end, like it all comes together, how mindfulness can even help you keeping your data safe, keeping yourself safe in the cyber world. Security awareness, a lot of companies spend a lot of money on technical improvements in the whole cybersecurity world. And then they started realizing that there are always people that click on emails, click on attachments, they open links, they shouldn't do it. So they realized that people are actually the primary target. And you can't change people's behavior by improving your technical side of IT. So what you really have to do is to deal with the human factor and people, because we humans, we all know we are emotional beings and our judgment usually is clouded by emotions, so we very often take unnecessary risks. We are also trained to help other people. So if we get a phone call, we just answer it and try to help the person at the other side. And very often we are stressed out and do things on autopilot or doing few things at the same time, and we do not spend enough attention. So it's really easy to be a victim of social engineering and phishing. On this slide, you see a few studies that show us how important it is to focus on the people factor. So more and more companies realize that they have to start a security awareness program. Um, they realize that it's an ongoing process. It's not something you can do just once and then they know what to do. You have to tell them again and again. You all know this cycle on top here on the slides, the Deming cycle: plan, do, check, act. It's a continuous improvement. Um, you probably all know phishing tests, newsletters about awareness. Um, there is education, like in a classroom. There are a lot of different trainings. We at Switch, we started the approach with gamification. We have an escape room. We have an outdoor quest that you can do. So people feel the danger and what they can do. But in the end, there is always one main goal in security awareness. It's changing your user's behavior. Um, and to do that, you have to get into your user's mind and then you have to change the behavior there. So, actually, in my point of view, security awareness is a lot about psychological dealing with people, um, and also about communication, not about technical aspects. And how do you do that? How do you get into your user's mind and how do you change behaviors? This is where I think mindfulness can help us. For you to understand why I tell something, I will explain you what mindfulness is. If you Google mindfulness, you will get hundreds of pictures showing a lady meditating at the beach. If you Google mindfulness at work, you will get pictures from a guy sitting on his desk while meditating. I'm sure we could talk for hours about why she sits on the beach while he is on his desk. But I want to talk about a different topic, about mindfulness. And I can promise you, mindfulness is much more than just meditation. And I can also assure you, I've never been sitting on my desk at work, but I do practice mindfulness at work. First, a few aspects or biased opinions about mindfulness. So, what people very often think if they hear mindfulness. Mindfulness is not a religion. It is practiced by people of all faiths and by those with no spiritual beliefs. There are actually several scientifically based mindfulness programs. One of the most famous is probably mindfulness based stress reduction by John Kabat-Zinn. It's also an abbreviation of MBSR. Mindfulness can help you become more productive and less distracted. So it's worth investing 10 minutes a day to be more productive afterwards. Meditation is not the only way to be mindful and also not only breathing, but meditation and breathing helps you to be aware of the present and to be aware of your feelings. So it's a good way to practice. And mindfulness is definitely not a magic bullet, meaning it's not good for everyone and it doesn't help with everything. There is scientific evidence that mindfulness can help with stress, depression, and anxiety, but it has to fit the person who is practicing it. So, what is mindful? Mindfulness can be described as the practice of paying attention in the present moment, doing it intentionally and with no judgment. Just being aware of where you are, what you do right now, and what you feel without judging or changing it. This is one of my favorite pictures about mindfulness or not being mindful. You can see the dog. He just sees the trees, he feels the sun on his fur. He doesn't think about yesterday or the next few minutes. He is mindful. Just what is right now, he's aware of it. Whereas his owner, the human being next to him, he is not mindful. His mind is full of things that happened in the past. I should have done this. I should do that. Things that will be in the future. I have to go shopping tonight, and then there will be this and that. He doesn't see the trees. He doesn't feel the sun. And he is not at all aware of the present moment. Maybe you remember situations like when you grabbed a snack, put it next to you, and you noticed a few moments later that all you have left is an empty package. Or have you ever driven to work without remembering the journey? Those are both very good examples of mindlessness or going on autopilot. And this is the exact opposite of mindfulness. How do we get to be mindful? What do we have to do? We have to practice. For many years, it was thought that once you reach a certain age, your brain became fixed. We now know that the brain keeps the ability to change its structure and function in response to experience and exercise. So if you train and exercise your brain, your mind, you will be able to manage your mind. It's like going to the gym. In the same way as training a muscle, you can train your brain to direct your attention to where you want it to be. Why meditation? As I said, you do not have to meditate, but it's a good way to practice and to improve your exercise. Meditation has been found to change certain brain regions. Mindfulness meditation is to arise your awareness of paying attention to the present moment. Mindfulness doesn't mean you have to sit on the floor. And meditation you can do sitting on a chair, laying somewhere, walking. Everything is possible while meditating. Focus, by focusing on your breath, it's also the idea of focusing on your body and on your feeling. And as you have to breathe anyway, and you don't need anything else, you can do it without people being aware that right now you try to calm yourself down. As I said, meditation and mindfulness needs to be practiced. It's proof that habits are formed when you repeat the same behavior many times. So if you practice mindfulness, you will get better and better while practicing. There is one guy or girl, or let's say it's more of an animal, that tries to distract you. You call it the monkey mind. It's the monkey who sits in your brain. If you try to sit somewhere and try to concentrate on only breathing and being present in the moment, this monkey will pop out of your head. Hey, I'm hungry. What are we going to eat later? Are you ticklish? Hello, hello, I want to talk to you. Everybody who is meditating knows this guy or girl. There are different ways to deal with your monkey mind. You can ignore it. You can give her a name. Hi, Gina. How are you doing today? You can even welcome him. Hey, do you want to join me in meditation? Very important. Be kind to yourself. Your monkey mind belongs to you, and it happens to the best of us. Sometimes meditation doesn't work for me, so I just get up and go for a walk. And then I realized, hey, my monkey mind gets quiet. So I start meditation while I'm walking. Mindfulness is a way of keeping you healthy and sane. It is scientifically proved. As I said, John Kabat-Zinn, he started a project many years ago in the United States where he tried to help people with depression, with high blood pressure, with burnout. This program is pretty fixed, and they say it's like 8 weeks and you have to practice a lot, and it's proven that if you do that, you will feel better at the end. It reduces stress, depression, and anxiety. But it's not only if you're already in a burnout, it can help you getting out of the treadmill of your everyday life. So if you're really, really busy juggling with different topics, with your family life, with a lot of things you have to do at your job, and you really feel stressed out, mindfulness is a way to like calm you down and keep you in the moment. What I realized that if I meditate more, I'm much more focused. It's kind of like if I have a torch and I put the light on one spot and I just stay there. But it also helps me to kind of clean my brain. There's more clarity. And if I take a step back, it also helps me to see the bigger picture and just to be much more calm. Yes, I need some time to practice, but it helps me. It's not only in my job that it's helping me, but also at home, dealing with my kids, dealing with anything that's stressful in the end. I practiced mindfulness for a few years and I was responsible for security awareness at the university for even more years, and I never linked these two topics together. Even though the word aware, being aware is part of mindfulness, I never linked it together. And then last year, I read a very interesting and inspiring article about mindfulness and security awareness in a Take Aware magazine. Um, Unfortunately, the article is only in German, but I'm sure if those who are interested, they will find it on the internet, or I can send you the link. The authors are Anka Hauke and Dietmar Pojkowski. And they suggest that mindfulness is a very, very powerful way to keep IT users safe. Because they say that if you're focused on what you're doing, you won't open an attachment by accident. If you are calm and less stressed out, you're more aware to whom you're talking or whom you're helping. If somebody calls you and tries social engineering with you, if you're focused and if you're in the present moment, you probably won't relieve your password. And they suggest that if companies starting mindfulness programs, it won't only help the health of their employees, but also it will improve the security awareness. I started researching when I read this article, and I found companies like SAP that they started mindfulness trainings with a huge success. They, what I read, they actually started it as health benefits and in the prevention, so people don't get sick, people don't get burned out. And I think it would be very interesting topic to research into if companies which offer mindfulness programs also see a difference in security awareness, in the behavior of their employees, or if they can use the same mechanisms in changing the IT users' behavior. And I
Barbara,
really, yeah,
5 minutes.
okay. And I hope that mindfulness will be considered as an option in awareness training in the future. Maybe now you've asked yourself, how should I be mindful at work? I don't want to sit on my desk and meditate. There are a lot of ways to be mindful at work, but you can also be mindful at home or wherever you are. There are small things like being mindful while you drink a cup of tea. And maybe the first thing I have to tell you, the goal is not being mindful the whole day. That's impossible. That's like running a marathon. You have to try to be mindful for a few minutes a day, even a few seconds, just to calm you down, be aware of the present moment. So next time, if you drink a coffee or a tea, take the glass, the cup, smell it. Does it make a sound? What's the color? Just be in the present. I love to do the thing with chocolate. I take the chocolate, I hear the sound it makes. What kind of a surface does it have? Does it smell? How does it taste in my mouth? Sitting on your chair, putting both feet on the ground, you can breathe in and out and calm yourself down. One of the, for me, most helpful mindfulness practice during a day is washing my hands. I learned this about 5 years ago. Um, and yeah, COVID helps us to remember it more and more often. Uh, Washing your hands in a mindful way, meaning turning on the water, feeling the temperature of the water. Don't think about anything else. Just try to feel the temperature. Then you take some soap. How does it smell? Are there bubbles? How does your finger feel? What's with your skin? You do that for a minute too. Then you rinse your finger. Be in the present moment. Don't think about anything. Just be here with your hands, the water, and the soap. This is these four things are tiny little things you can do throughout the day without anybody noticing that you're actually practicing mindfulness. But it helps you to come back to the present moment and be calm. What do you need to do it? You just have to start it. Usually, what you need is a reminder. Um, I put pictures on my desk, so I'm reminded to be mindful, but also put post-its. I put post-its on the mirror in my bathroom. Mindfulness. So when I went to the bathroom, I saw the post-it and oh, I have to wash my hands in a mindful way. So I would recommend you just try it once. It helps. It can make fun. And remember, it's usually the first step that is the hardest. It's the same with being mindful. So if you have questions to me about mindfulness or security awareness or any other things, I will be in the Q&A session later on. And also we have a few minutes here, I think, Virpi, if somebody
Yes.
wants to know something.
But what I'm interested in, Barbara, how has pandemic changed the mindfulness and your practice experience? Are you practicing more, or are you more calm people around you?
um, First, well, when I was working at the office, I get up, I practice 10 minutes, and then I leave to work. So when I started working from home, it kind of get mixed up everything. So I didn't practice. And then I realized that I was getting more and more stressed out, also with helping the kids with homeschooling and everything. And then I really had to put more post-its everywhere just to remind myself, hey, take 10 minutes a day for yourself, for being mindful. It helps everybody. And the funny thing is, my 13-year-old, she actually joins me sometime. So yeah, it helps to stay for the whole family, to stay more quiet and calm.
Very good. Thanks a lot. So thanks a lot, Barbara, for the very presentation, and it's really good that you are part of our session today.